So, the first episode of Secret Invasion has dropped, and the reviews are slightly positive, but it is apparently the lowest rated series for Marvel thus far. Now, I haven't seen all of Marvel's recent shows. I enjoyed WandaVision fine enough, rather liked Loki. I did think that Falcon and Winter Soldier was a waste of time overall, but it did have a few highlight moments. I never finished She-Hulk, never finished Moon Knight, and I never bothered with Miss Marvel. Oh, and Hawkeye was okay, I guess. That being said, Secret Invasion is the first series of Phase 5 and is set to be 6 episodes. The first episode is around 55 minutes long, and the length doesn't really feel that long, to be honest. Do I think this is a great episode? Not really. It was entertaining enough, and the action was well directed enough, in my opinion, to where I was never really bored, even if some of the writing and dialogue was a little generic, but that's a lot of MCU content, in my opinion. The scripts are not usually the strongest parts, but I think it succeeds at what Marvel does best, which is make content that entertains you enough to kill some time. Spoilers for the rest of the episode if you haven't seen it. There was a lot of stuff that I actually thought was pretty good in this. I like that we're finally exploring Sam Jackson's Nick Fury a little bit more. He's been in the MCU as a cameo fest since day one, so it's nice to finally see a storyline with him as the focus. I mean, it's Sam Jackson. He's an acting legend. It's nice that they're finally utilizing his acting skills. I like the setup for his character too. He's all beat up and scarred, he looks like garbage, he's got a bad leg, and he seems really depressed. They make a note to talk about how the blip really affected him, and that's what I like to see in the MCU. I like to see that new stories are happening, but seeing the larger events of the past have an impact on current stories. Something that we never really got with Ultron, so hopefully in the future maybe they can remedy that. There is rumors that he's apparently returning at some point, but with Thanos we've really seen the impact of what he did to the world, and we're seeing it here again with Fury, which I really like. I like the line of dialogue where Nick Fury is told that the blip changed him because it showed him that no matter what you do, there's always someone bigger and badder that can beat you. And it really struck him, which I think is honestly a really neat setup for his character arc in this series. I like when the MCU actually has character work. It's why I always found Steve Rogers fascinating, a man out of time who has nothing, nobody at first, and just keeps looking for the next fight because it's all he has. It's why everyone fell in love with Tony, a character who's selfish but goes through a traumatic experience that changes him for the better. When Marvel actually spends time on its characters, it really makes the whole universe stronger. That's what works best about these Marvel shows, and while I don't think introducing new major characters in shows was the best idea, I think small series to add depth to pre-established characters is actually a pretty neat concept. I also think that killing off Maria Hill was a great call. Cobie Smulders has been in the MCU since 2012. That's 11 years. Finally having some consequences in the MCU is what we really need. It's what films like Thor Love and Thunder and Ant-Man Quantumania kind of lacked. We need major things to happen. That's the consequence of having a giant purple space alien wipe away half the universe. You need big things to happen after that feel impactful. I also like the spy elements that feel a little Jason Bourne-esque with a mix of some James Bond in there. It reminds me a lot of Winter Soldier, which just happens to be my favorite MCU film. The villain seems intimidating, and I like that he succeeds in the first episode. It shows that he's an actual threat and someone to be taken seriously. I am worried that they, and excuse my language, blew their load early on in the first episode dramatically. They packed so much into it between relationship drama between Talos and his daughter played by Emilia Clarke, as well as all of the Nick Fury and Maria Hill stuff. And I don't know if the story has enough material for 6 near hour-long episodes. I'm hoping that if anything there's enough and there's maybe some surprises in store for us with a concept like a Skrull invasion where anyone and everyone can be a hidden Skrull. The setup is perfect to have some major impact on the larger MCU. Really add some uniqueness to not only the future but the past MCU films if major characters or even interesting minor characters turn out to be Skrulls. I know a popular theory is Rhodey, which I think could be pretty cool. I think an interesting one could be General Thunderbolt Ross since William Hurt passed away and Harrison Ford is taking over the role, and could be unique to add to the lore of Civil War, him causing a divide between the Avengers. I don't know, overall the first episode worked for me. I know it isn't a super popular episode, but I rather liked it. I don't know, it feels more like a spy show than a Marvel superhero show, and I like when the series feels different. It's why I rather liked Werewolf by Night, and I think Marvel should actually start doing more specials, to be honest. Anyway, let me know in the comments, guys, if you liked the first episode of Secret Invasion. If you hated it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I will say, like I mentioned, I don't know if this is going to work for 6 episodes. I think this could have been a really good 3-episode series, to be honest. Either way, thanks for watching. If you did like the video, make sure to click the like button, subscribe if you want to hear more from me, and click the little bell notification button so that you know when I post new content. And as always, I will see you on the next video.